Everybody, we are going to discuss sense organs present in our body. So we'll be starting with eye. So human eye, it is spherical in shape and it is very much sensitive to light. That is why it is also called photoreceptor organ, and it lies in orbit of skull. Its exposed part, it is protected by two eyelids along with the eyelashes, and it is movable and attached to the orbit with six sets of muscles, and those muscles help to rotate it in different directions. On the margin of eyelids, there is presence of small meibomian glands, and that secrete an oily substance which helps to lubricate eyelids. And on the outer corner of upper eyelid, there is presence of lacrimal glands, and it secretes watery tears on the surface of the eye and makes our eye clean. Eyeball, it is made up of three coats, as you can see in the figure. The outermost layer is sclera. The second layer is choroid, and the innermost layer is retina. So we are going to discuss each coat. Sclera, as you can see, it is the outermost uh, top layer, which is made up of fibrous connective tissue. It is hard and it is opaque and white in color, but anteriorly it is bulges out to form transparent cornea. It means to say the whole region of sclera is opaque, but the anterior part of it is bulging out and forms transparent region, and the transparent region is called cornea, through which light can enter inside. And it is covered out from outside with the thin membrane that is called conjunctiva, which protects the cornea. Let's discuss about choroid, the middle layer, uh, and it is made up of loose vascular connective tissue supplied with blood vessels, and it is normally dark brown color, which gives eye color. Anteriorly, it becomes thick. You can see anteriorly it becomes thick on either side, up and down, and forms the ciliary body with ciliary muscles. In front of the ciliary body, the choroid separates. The choroid separates from the sclera and bends downward as an iris. Iris. This layer is called iris. In the middle of the iris, there is an opening or aperture, and that aperture is called pupil, through which light can enter inside our eye. And the size of eye pupil is controlled by the muscles of iris. It means when more light is there, like in daytime, our size of pupil is small due to relaxation of iris muscles. But at night, our size of pupil is big due to contraction of iris muscles. Uh, due to iris, the whole eyeball cavity is divided into two chambers. The anterior small chamber, this chamber is called aqueous chamber, and the posterior big chamber, it is called vitreous chamber. An aqueous chamber is filled with watery thin aqueous humor. The liquid that is present here in aqueous chamber is called aqueous humor, and the large chamber, which is vitreous humor chamber, it is filled with thick liquid gelatinous substance that is called vitreous humor. And the function of these liquids is to maintain the size and shape of eyeball. Behind the iris, you can see a large, round biconvex transparent lens, and it is also covered from outside with a layer called capsule, and it is attached to ciliary body by suspensory ligaments. Now let's talk about the retina, the innermost layer, and it is the very much sensitive layer of the eye, and it contains outer, here you can see, it contains outer layer of pigment cells and inner sensory layer of proper retina. The proper retina has three sublayers that you can see here in the picture. So this outermost layer is sclera, middle layer is choroid, and the whole layer represents retina. And retina is further made up of three sublayers. An outer layer of photoreceptor cells, rod cell, and cone cells. A middle bipolar cells, because it has got two poles, each cell has got two poles, so they are called bipolar cells. So middle layer is made of bipolar cell, and the innermost layer is ganglionic layer, which is more sensory in nature, and they are connected to optic nerve, which will take the impulses to brain. The rod that is present here, it perceives the intensity of light, means it just distinguishes bright light or low intensity of light, whereas the cone cells, it distinguishes the color of the object. Retina, uh, from behind the eye, you can see here behind the eye, the optic nerves will just come out from the non-sensory part of retina, which is called blind spot. So this region is called blind spot, from where the optic nerves are coming out of the eyeball. And just above the blind spot, there is highly sensitive area, because it has got more number of cone cells, which lie just behind the eye lens. That is called area of centralis, and the group that it has is called fovea. Area centralis is the region of sharp image formation. The reason is, as I told you before, it contains large number of cone cells here, which can distinguish the color of object. The working of eye is same as the principle of photographic camera. So it means to say how the camera works. In the same way, our eye also functions. Uh, the rays of light that comes from the object, it passes through the lens and finally focus on the retina, where an inverted image is formed. And these impulses is taken by the photoreceptor cells, which are rod and cone cells present in the retina, and that impulses are taken by bipolar cells, followed by ganglionic layer, and then finally it is taken by optic nerves to the brain. And brain will interpret that image impulses and can see the upright image of an object. Now let us discuss about some defects of eyes. The first is hypermetropia or farsightedness. So here is the one. So here the person can see far object clearly but cannot see near object clearly. Such defect of vision is called farsightedness. It occurs when our eye lens has long focal length due to failure of relaxation of ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscle is, if ciliary muscles get relaxed, then the focal length will be shorter and it could see the near object. But what happens here, those person who has got hypermetropia, the lens will always have long focal length. The reason is because ciliary muscles cannot relax, and because of that the person has defect of vision called hypermetropia, and it can be corrected by using convex lens of proper focal length. Now myopia, it is also called nearsightedness. It normally happens with students. They cannot see far object clearly. That means they can see near object clearly, and the reason is the eye lens has short focal length due to what? Failure of contraction of ciliary muscles. So when ciliary muscles do not contract, then eye lens will always remain with short focal length, and due to that the person cannot see far object clearly, and it can be corrected by using concave lens of proper focal length. Astigmatism. So here the person will see blurry and wavy vision of an object at any distance. The reason is normally our eye lens is spherical in shape, but if the eye lens become curved, then this kind of defect of vision is occurred, and it can be corrected by using cylindrical lens. Cataract or motivindu, in Nepali we call it motivindu. So this is due to our eye lens is normally transparent so that light can easily pass through it. But the person who is suffered with cataract, the transparency of lens will reduce. Because of that, light will not pass through, and persons they start to have very blurry vision. And if it is not treated on time, then person may get blind. So that's why, and the reason is that it is caused due to the protein that is present in the eye lens. If it clots, then this kind of defective vision can be occurred, and it can be corrected or it can be treated by surgical removal of that opaque lens and replaced by the artificial lens. Let's talk about next is glaucoma, or it is also called Jalbindu. So the person who has defective vision due to damage of optic nerves, because you already know optic nerves take the impulses to brain, and then brain can interpret and see the image. But if the optic nerves get damaged, then the person will lose the vision, and such defective vision is called glaucoma or Jalbindu. And the reason is, if the pressure increases within the eyeball, then what happens? Optic nerves get damaged, along with rod and cone cells also will get damaged and die. And such defective vision is called glaucoma, and it is corrected by operation at early stage. Means if we can treat in early stage, then person can be recovered. But if we go lately, then the person may get blind permanently. Presbyopia. So here person cannot focus the image of object at any distance, and it normally causes to the old person. So here the person loses the capacity of accommodation, because with distance our focal length of eye lens must change. But if our eye lens fails to change the focal length according to the distance of object, then person cannot focus the image of object on the retina, and person cannot see the object. And this kind of defective vision can be corrected by using bifocal lens. It means the lens having both convex and concave lens. Next is conjunctivitis. So the name only suggests if our eye get pink in color due to inflammation of conjunctiva, the layer, it is called conjunctivitis. And next is trachoma. So it is redness of eye, and it is very much contagious because this is caused due to the infection of bacteria in conjunctiva. So this is contagious, so person must be remain far from the other people. With this, thank you so much.